The misinterpretation of kindness. When good intentions go awry, kindness. It is such a beautiful thing. It is a gift we choose to give. We offer it from the deepest parts of our hearts. We often do this freely, without expecting anything back. But what happens next can be tricky. Sometimes other people see our kindness differently. They might not understand its true source or its strength. They might only see an open heart. And then, they can mistake that open heart for an open door. A door they feel they can just walk through without any invitation or thought. This is a common problem. It is a sad one too, because it can dim our light. When you choose to be kind, you are showing empathy. You are showing that you care deeply about others. This is a profound strength. It truly is a mark of courage in a world that can often be harsh. However, not everyone you meet will see it this way. Some people are more accustomed to harshness in their own lives. They are used to relationships where everything feels like a transaction, a trade. So when they encounter genuine, no-strings-attached kindness, they pause. They might wonder, what's the catch here? Or even worse, they might conclude, this person must be naive and easy to fool. Being overly friendly, without clear personal limits, can sometimes confuse things. You smile a lot because you feel joy. You listen patiently because you value connection. You offer help quickly because it is your nature to support. You do all this because it's authentically who you are. It feels natural and right to you. But for someone who is constantly looking for an advantage, this consistent kindness can look like an open invitation. They see your warmth and your gentle nature. They might interpret these qualities as a lack of strong boundaries. They might start to think you won't ever say no to their requests. This is precisely where the trouble often starts to brew, slowly but surely. It is so very important to understand this dynamic. This understanding is not about changing who you are at your core. It is certainly not about stopping your acts of kindness or dimming your generous spirit. Instead, it is about growing your awareness. It is about knowing that your good intentions can, unfortunately, be misread by others. It is about knowing that some people will inevitably test your limits, consciously or unconsciously. This awareness is the very first crucial step. Recognizing that this happens. It happens to many good, kind-hearted people. You are not alone in this experience. The weight of one-sided giving. How unreciprocated generosity affects us. When kindness flows only in one direction, it can cause real pain. You give your time and energy freely. You support others through their difficult moments. You are consistently there for them, a reliable presence. But what happens when you are the one who needs something? What happens when you need support or a listening ear? Often, the very people you have helped so much are not there for you in return. They might genuinely be too busy with their own lives. Or more painfully, they simply don't think about reciprocating your care. This imbalance is a heavy weight to carry. It can make you feel unseen, unvalued, and deeply alone. Constant favors, offered without expectation but also without reciprocation, can gradually change how people see you. At first, they are usually very grateful for your help. They say thank you with what seems like sincerity. But if your help becomes a constant, something they can always count on, it can morph into an expectation. They start to assume you will always say yes to their requests, no matter what. You become the go-to person for everything they need. This isn't always because they deeply respect your skills or your time. Often it's because they know you'll likely agree without much fuss, making their lives easier. This is a subtle, dangerous shift in perception. Suddenly, you might start to feel like a doorman for everyone else's needs. Or perhaps you feel like a free service provider, always on call. Your own needs, your dreams, your rest, they seem to fade into the background, unnoticed and unaddressed. Their needs, however, are always front and center, demanding immediate attention. They might not even ask politely anymore. They just expect you to deliver, to fix, to solve. This is not respect. This is not a healthy, balanced connection. It's so easy to fall into this trap, especially when you genuinely want to be helpful. You want to be liked and valued by those around you. This ongoing pattern of giving without receiving can slowly erode your self-worth. You start to question your own value. You might find yourself thinking, am I only valuable if I'm constantly doing things for others? This is a painful and isolating thought to confront. It is very important to see this pattern clearly for what it is. This situation is not your fault. You are not to blame for having a generous heart. It is a dynamic that has been created over time, often unintentionally. It frequently develops so slowly, so subtly, that you barely notice it happening. Until one day you do, and the realization hits hard. Finding your voice, the courage to set boundaries. Everyone has a limit. Absolutely everyone. Even the kindest, most generous souls eventually reach a point of depletion. There comes a specific time, a clear moment, a point where you must summon your courage and say, "Enough is enough." This declaration is not about being mean or suddenly becoming unkind. It is certainly not about being selfish or uncaring towards others. It is about something much more fundamental, self-respect. It is about honoring your own precious and finite energy. It is about protecting your own limited time. Your own well-being matters most, and you are responsible for it. This is a critical turning moment in your journey. Standing up for yourself, especially when you are not used to it, can feel incredibly scary. It can feel vulnerable. You might worry about disappointing other people, people you care about. You might worry that they will get angry with you or misunderstand your intentions. Or you might even fear that they will choose to leave your life if you no longer meet all their demands. These fears are completely real and entirely valid. But your need for self-preservation is also real, and it is very, very important. Courage, as I often say, is not the absence of fear. It is feeling that fear and acting bravely despite it. It is perfectly okay and often necessary to say no. Remember this powerful truth. No is a complete sentence. You do not always need to offer a long explanation for your decision. You do not always need to justify why you are setting a boundary. Learning to set healthy boundaries is a vital skill for a fulfilling life. It is also a continuous practice, something you get better at over time. It might feel awkward or uncomfortable at first, like wearing new shoes, but it truly does get easier with consistent effort. Each time you honor your limit, you build inner strength. You clearly teach others how they should treat you. Sometimes a tough lesson is needed. This lesson is not necessarily for you to learn, but for others to learn about you and your limits. They need to understand that your kindness, while abundant, has clear and firm boundaries. They need to see that you value yourself enough to protect those boundaries consistently. This is not about seeking punishment or engaging in revenge. It is about establishing much-needed clarity in your relationships. It is about re-establishing what is acceptable behavior towards you. And just as importantly, what is absolutely not. Your peace of mind matters tremendously. It is worth protecting. Building on respect. Reclaiming your worth in relationships. Respect in any relationship should always be mutual. It is a fundamental two-way street, not a one-way path. If you find that you are always giving respect, always considerate, but not receiving it in return, something is seriously wrong. This is a significant red flag, a warning sign. It clearly signals an imbalance in the relationship, one that needs addressing. Take a moment for yourself. Step back from the immediate situation. Try to look at it as clearly and objectively as you possibly can. Ask yourself honestly, is this relationship truly serving me and my growth? Or is it consistently draining my spirit and energy? When respect is consistently absent from a connection, it is time to seriously reconsider that relationship. This does not always mean that you must end things abruptly or cut ties completely. Sometimes it means finding the courage to have a hard, honest conversation. A brave conversation is needed, one where you speak your truth. A conversation where you explain how their actions and the lack of respect make you feel, where you clearly state your needs and your expectations for how you want to be treated moving forward. This is undoubtedly vulnerable work. It takes a lot of courage. But your well-being, your sense of self, is worth that courage. It truly, deeply is. Remind people around you about the importance of respect. Sometimes people genuinely forget its value in the hustle of daily life. Or perhaps, more unfortunately, they were never taught how to show it properly in their formative years. Show them what respect looks like through your own consistent actions. Model it in your interactions with them and with others. But also, be firm and clear in demanding it for yourself. If they are unwilling or unable to change their behavior after you've communicated your needs, then you have a choice to make. A choice about how much precious energy you continue to give to that connection. A choice that prioritizes you and your needs. Having a good, compassionate heart does not mean you must let people walk all over you. It certainly does not mean that your role is to be a doormat for others to wipe their feet on. Your kindness is a superpower. It is a beautiful and rare gift to the world. Protect it fiercely. Nurture it within yourself so it continues to grow. But also, guard it with wisdom and discernment. Use it wisely and intentionally. Share it generously with those who cherish it. Share it with those who see its true, profound worth and reciprocate it. You deserve relationships built on a solid, unshakable foundation of mutual respect. Always remember that. You are worthy of it.